Well, let's try that again. Good evening, everybody. I hope that this stream finds you well. Whoa. I'm consuming a That's It bar because they are so tasty. So yeah. What are you up to? What do you love? What do you love? That's an old reference to Anchorman. Hold on, let me chew this real quick. There's a lot going on in here. We streamed earlier today, and I wasn't too impressed with the games that we played, with the exception of Goaty. That was fun. I think now more than ever, and this is part of my issue, is I want to play games that I find interesting. And maybe it's because I played so many games that I did not find interesting or had no, vested interest in. Maybe that's the reason, but I think for me, that's kind of been my focus, or going to be my focus going forward, so I can kind of stay invested, is to play and focus on games that I think might be interesting or cool. I enjoy side-scrolling 2D horror games. I enjoy all sorts of different things, but there's a lot of cool stuff out there. So we'll see how it goes. Somebody just came in and instantly left. They saw, oh, this guy's not playing a game. No, thank you. And I get, I'm like, hey man, how soon is now? So you go and you stand on your own, and you leave on your own, and you go home and you cry and you learn to die. It's funny. One of the streams, I was driving and I played a cover that I did of Time After Time. And normally you'll get something called revenue sharing, where, oh, you did a cover, the system recognized it, so they're going to take half of the ad revenue. This motherfucker claimed the whole thing. Like he was, they wrote it. Like they made the whole thing. I'm like, fucking, I'm not going to fight it. You know, for like a half a second, I'm like, no, I'm not going to invest any time. The stream got 20 views. You know, what's the point? Who cares? Big whoop. Yes, and it's true, by the way. Oh, that's a yellow light, and that's a red light. Oh, no. Oh, no. I made a terrible decision. I made a terrible decision with that. Hold on, guys. I need a second. I got to see if I can get pulled over. I think I am in the clear. In 5 seconds, I will confirm that I'm in the clear. Good. Okay. Not good. Who's here right now? Thank you for sticking your finger inside the like button. Appreciate you. Don't be all sneaky in the background. Talk to your boy. Let's have a dialogue. Let's nibble on the trunk rump. Go for the gun. Like they said in the infamous movie Coneheads, it's time to knock for the gun. Knock for the gun. What was the other thing I saw? I haven't snarled the narf in quite some time. Damn it, what is that? What did she say? I'm going to have to Google it. There was an SNL clip. I haven't snarled the line. Fuck, what did she say? I remember there was a stream a while ago when we were playing Death Stranding and I was trying to figure this out. And I keep forgetting I could just Google it. But there's an SNL clip with Emily Blunt. I think it was a Halloween special where they're driving in a stretch limo and they're ordering fast food at a fast food restaurant. It's an SNL skit with Emily Blunt in a stretch limo. And she talks about how hungry she is. And she goes, I haven't snuffled the knob and da-ba-da-ba-da. And I'm trying to remember the sentence she used. I haven't narfled the doctor in quite some time. Let me get a Diet Coke, size large, fries medium. I don't know. It's a stupid thing, but I liked the phraseology of it. You know, sometimes we get something that isn't funny, but how it's phrased is so interesting that you can't help but go, yes, please, I'll have a taste. Yes, please, put it in my pockets and be the best friend. Who's here right now? Who's hungry? Talk to me, Goose. Unless you're afraid. I get it. You're afraid. You're a little baby scared. I get it. I get it. Little baby. Little baby scared. That's okay. I forgave you a long time ago. I forgave you a long time ago. What's next, Johnny? What song's next? Oh, that semi broke down. Is it weird that I don't feel guilty for when semi... What's up, creepy girl? What's up, YouTube master? What's good, what's good, what's good? Is it weird that I don't feel guilty when semis break down? Like I have no interest in pulling over for them? I don't know if like inherently in my head I know they have a bed in there, they have to radio to dispatch, they have goods and services, so I know they have people that are going to back them up, money's involved. Maybe that's the reason. What is this? And the beat drops. Let me hear it now. Baby girl, when I come into the back, I'm gonna slide up in between the cheeks. I'm gonna have a smack, I'm gonna nibble on the cooter, gonna put it in the bag, gonna pump it in and out of it, when I want the stack, I'm gonna smack it against the cheese. Tell you once it gets slow. Sorry, I was making up nonsensical lyrics to this nonsensical song that's just rhythmic, bass, and groove-tastic chunk punks. I don't mind that you cuss. Just watch your fucking mouth, that's all I ask. By the way, ooh, ooh, never, baby girl, ooh, ooh. So let me enlighten you guys about, there's a topic I think is important to discuss. A very well-known actor to a certain age group, I would imagine, and hopefully to all age groups, young and old. He was voted greatest actor of all time by Greatest Actor magazine. I think he's won an Oscar for almost every single movie he's ever been in. And you may say, are we talking about Oscar de la Hoya? I go, no, he's a boxer. Are you saying Oscar Isaacs? No, not Oscar Isaacs. I don't think he's ever won an Oscar. And if he has, I couldn't tell you what for. Are we talking about the actor that played in Last of the Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis? No, but that's a good guess. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Steven Seagal. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Steven Seagal, the greatest actor of all time, the greatest action star of all time, the greatest martial artist of all time, the greatest body, the greatest hairline of all time. He, ever since the 90s, since his Under Siege movies and all that, he has taken the route which there's got to be money in it or else they wouldn't do it. The direct-to-video films. There's got to be substantial money in that avenue or else so many actors wouldn't do it. Mel Gibson, he's now putting out movies straight to video. John Cusack is an actor I love, who's been for a while now been doing straight to like video on demand. There's got to be money in it or else they wouldn't be doing it. Jean-Claude Van Damme, same thing. So my suspicion is the risk to reward is much better. The odds are much better. You have a small budget, you release the film, and the money you make far exceeds that smaller budget. That's my guess. Whereas something to release in cinema, not only do you have to pump money into advertisements, if you will, and promotion, it costs money to play that stuff at movie theaters, and I think there's all sorts of factors that go into it that I'm not smart enough to know about, nor have I taken the time to educate myself on. That said, let's get back to the topic at hand. Steven Seagal. For context, I encourage you to go on YouTube and just type Steven Seagal, and you will see a slew of content that will paint a very good picture of whom this individual is, that will help give you a clear understanding as to who you're dealing with. Steven Seagal is an unbelievably powerful creature who claims to be, you know, the best at everything. And all of these actors that have worked with him in the past have all these fantastic stories. The guy that played Deuce Bigalow, male gigolo, I cannot remember his name for whatever reason, was talking about a movie he had to do with Steven Seagal. And he was telling the story. I think he was doing the movie, he was telling the story through one of the Wayans brothers who did a movie called The Glimmer Man. And they were talking about how Steven Seagal was in his trailer, and he comes out, and he walks up to the cast and crew, and he goes, "Wow, I don't know what to say." He goes, "His Excellence, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, in his infinite wisdom." I understand. No worries, creepy girl. Thanks for swinging by. He goes, "In his infinite wisdom has made me a deity." So the Dalai Lama, and I think if you donate money to their causes, they will make you a deity. I think at some point, the more money you donate. And I feel empowered, I feel powerful, I feel incumbent upon me to be this special whatever. And I thought it was fascinating the way he was looking at this stuff. How he looked at himself like he was this special thing. So that's one story. Another story, there is a master judo practitioner by the name of Gene LeBell. He's an old man now in his 70s or 80s. And he was around back in the day. He was a stuntman in Bruce Lee movies, and he actually trained Bruce Lee in grappling. And the story goes that Bruce Lee was very confident in his American or Japanese boxing, which is a Taekwondo mixture of other styles. And Gene LeBell explained to him that grappling ultimately is the most effective style of fighting. And Bruce Lee obviously disagreed, and they had sparring, and Gene LeBell got the better of Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee said, "You must teach me this." So he has a lot of accolades. Gene LeBell has a lot of accolades. He trained Ronda Rousey. He's trained some of the best judo practitioners in the world. He fought Muhammad Ali in a mixed combat sort of fight where, you know, Gene LeBell was very limited in what he was allowed to do, or else he would have kicked Muhammad Ali's ass. Straight boxing match, Muhammad Ali would have crushed him, but it was supposed to be like an open weight, open style fight, like the first real MMA match, but it wasn't MMA because Gene LeBell couldn't take him down, couldn't do these different things, so he was very limited as to what he could do. Anyways, just to kind of show you the kind of guy we're talking about. So, Gene LeBell is also very old school, very polite individual. And he tells the story about Steven Seagal, where they were doing something. Gene LeBell was a fight coordinator or part of some stunt crew for some film, and they were talking, and Steven Seagal mentioned that he can get out of any choke. He has this special move. So Gene LeBell's like, wow, you know, I've been doing judo my whole life and grappling my whole life, and I haven't seen anybody that has a guaranteed move. So Gene LeBell explained, I can get you in a rear naked choke. I'd love to see this move. And Steven Seagal said, absolutely. So Gene LeBell kind of talks like this. He doesn't have a country accent, but it's a very gravelly voice, so I'll do the impression. So Gene LeBell tells the story. So Steven said he had this move, this foolproof move that can get out of any chokehold ever. So he asked me to go ahead and demonstrate, and I said, you can demonstrate on me. At first, Steven declined, and I said, it's okay, you know, I want this, I want to learn. So I went ahead and got Steven in a rear naked choke, and he took this hand and chopped me right in the sisters. Well, I guess he was sleepy, so he went ahead and took a nap. And then I think he had to use the bathroom, so he went ahead and used the bathroom then and there. So Gene LaBelle basically describes that he got him in a chokehold. Steven Seagal tried to karate chop him in his balls, thinking that would cause Gene LaBelle to let go. Gene LaBelle did not let go. He choked him unconscious, and then he shit his pants. So Steven Seagal vehemently denies this, says it never happened, which of course, the type of persona that Steven Seagal has, he's not going to let this truth taint his legacy, you know what I mean? So that's just one of the other stories. Then, if you look at some of his most recent movies, he always paints himself to be like the most badass whatever. Now that he's getting older, what's going on, Ashton? As he paints himself in this light, in these straight-to video on demand films, he always plays like an ex-Army Ranger, ex-Special Ops, ex-Navy SEAL, ex-Sniper, who's being brought back to lead one more mission. And he's so old and haggard, and you know he's got his hairline spray painted on. This is the only guy I've ever seen who's grown more hair and got a different hairline over the years. As he's gotten older, his hairline has improved. But he's an example in some of these movies he does. He has these scenes where he has fight scenes where he's literally sitting down and doesn't get up. And I suspect that he's telling the director, he's like, all right, Steven, so in this scene, we're going to have John here. Hey, John, this is Steven. Hey, Steven, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. John's going to attack you. I'd like you to get up, maybe use some of the Aikido that, you know, and you're going to disarm him and put him on the ground. And you're going to hold him there. Steven responds, I got a better idea. How about I sit in this chair? Don't get up. I do the move. I fling my hands like this, and the motherfucker goes flying 10 feet. If you look at these clips of Steven Seagal, he is literally slap fighting, and cut the camera, and the people go flying across the room at like 100 miles an hour. It is the most ridiculous shit you've ever seen. Then it shows Steven Seagal, if you look at the covers of these movies, it shows him on a different person's body. There's a great scene in one of these movies. I'm going to start watching these movies because it looks so bad. And I've just watched clips and did a little bit of research on it. There's a particular movie where he's leaving his apartment, this beautiful apartment. He's like a ex-special forces, whatever. And he's in Romania or something, or Russia. And there's this woman with this little girl, and they're locked out of their apartment. And Steven's like, hey. And as he gets older, he's trying to talk like he's a black guy. In his later movies, he's trying to talk like he's black, you know. And what I mean by that is, you know, those people that try to put on some sort of fake accent to denote an urban upbringing of some kind that most people would attribute to people that grew up in urban environments. So his accent has been evolving over the years, and he's starting to do this more. So he comes up to this woman who has this little girl there, and they're locked out. So Steven Seagal, you know, picks the lock in like a matter of 3 seconds, opens the door, and he goes, oh, that's a pretty little girl you got there. And the woman goes, oh yes, I love her, and I love my sister. And he goes, sister? And I think Steven Seagal's like, yep, this woman is not tainted. It is not her kid. I'm now interested. So Steven Seagal goes in and then now pursues this woman. So at this stage, stuff happens. The woman, there's a scene where this Russian mafia people are after her because her family owed them money, but these people died, so the debt was transferred to her. She doesn't have the money. So the scene cuts to the Russian guy owes this Chinese people money, and they want the money from the Russian guy. He goes, we don't have it, but we can sell you this girl. So you're thinking, okay, well, they're going to sell this woman. Steven Seagal's going to kick some ass. It's going to be all good. Come to find out, they're selling the daughter, and the Chinese guy's like, all right, well, I know a pedophile that'll probably want her. So then he goes to sell a little girl to a pedophile. Now, in this movie, Steven Seagal does literally hardly any action at all. And the one little bit of kudos I'll give to him was that in these movies, he's grabbing like these up-and-coming like martial art movie guys, and he's putting them in his movies to do like some cool scenes and stuff. I don't know if it's to give them give them a shot, or if he's just so lazy and he figures he'll splice himself in these different scenarios and have these people do all the legwork, like he's this mastermind and figured it all out. So, end of the day, this other guy kicks a bunch of ass, saves a little girl. This woman is elated that he got her sister's daughter back. So she wants to reward Steven with sex. So they begin to have a sex scene in which she's completely naked, and Steven Seagal is completely dressed, leather pants, boots, socks, shirt of some kind, leather jacket, sunglasses, completely clothed. And basically he's going around just like rubbing on her body as if somehow it's just so mind-boggling. It's so weird to me. It's funny to me. It's funny Steven Seagal does these things. I mean, you could call it a wigger, the W-I-G-G-E-R. I guess you could phrase it that way, but I think explaining it the way I did hopefully makes it make sense. I think that denotes a very specific type of person, whereas my description I think would have been a little more accurate. But yeah, man, something along those lines. Something along those lines. I'm so pissed. I was so distracted with my Steven Seagal stories that some Yahoo, some pipe smoking, body rocking, tip sucking, toe tapping, juice box having motherfucker flashed me with his brights, and I didn't get to him in time. What's up? What's good word, Selby? Welcome. Sorry it's so dark right now. I'm driving. And when I drive Dos Equis. So, bienvenido a la pregunta épica. Mi nombre, me, baby, me. Anyway, so some of these topics I'm going to discuss in the podcast, and hopefully I have some clips that I can show. But man, some of the stuff that he's done in these films is shocking to me. Shocking to me. He is like a jerk. So back to the Glimmerman story. So he comes out and he's telling the story to the crew, and he goes, the Dalai Lama, in his infinite wisdom, has sought to make me a deity. And I feel empowered. I feel like this sense of responsibility. Like I finally understand my place in the universe. And at that time, his assistant walks up and says, Steven, your wife said she won't be able to bring up the kids. And he turns around and goes, you tell that fucking bitch to get her cunt ass up here right now and bring those fucking kids. And this is right after his discussion about how he's a deity and how he's so proud to be a deity and all this other blah, 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 blah. Suck it on down, Johnny. It's fascinating to me how fake people can be. And I don't know Steven Seagal personally. I can only go off of what information I have. A great example of the kind of person he is. I'm a big mixed martial arts fan. I've done martial arts throughout my life. By the way, thank you for whomever stuck your fingers inside that like button. I'm a big fan of mixed martial arts. I've been in martial arts throughout my life as well. I love jiu-jitsu. I'm actually going to be going back into jiu-jitsu and grappling again. I did it for a number of years, and I love it so much. And as an adult, in my current state, I haven't done it in many years, trained at least. So I'm gonna get it back into it. But anyways, so I'm not an expert. but I know quite a bit about the sport. I know quite a bit about martial arts as a whole. And I'm not talking about like the generic martial arts like Hapkido and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking, you know, traditional Muay Thai kickboxing, traditional American boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, taekwondo, you know, these types of martial arts, the mainstays, wrestling. Anyways, so I'm quite familiar with these processes. I understand what these moves are. I understand what they're called, the teep and the gogopalata, omopalata, omopalata. These different moves, renegade choke, arm bars, the twister, the Peruvian necktie, all these stupid things. But anyways, the point is, I'm familiar with it. Front leg side kick, spinning kick, roundhouse kick. You know, people think a roundhouse kick is a spinning kick. A roundhouse kick is not a spinning kick. It is a wheel kick or a heel kick or an axe kick, depending on how you do it. Axe is we bring the heel down. But anyways, a spinning back kick or whatever, a spinning side kick. A roundhouse kick is not a spinning kick. Anyways, so at one point, Anderson Silva, who at the time was the greatest middleweight fighter, 185 pounds on the planet, destroying everybody, making everybody look silly. So he had a fight coming up. Sorry, Ashton, I'm driving, man. I can't read the whole post. I apologize. It's too big for me to stare at while I'm driving. But Steven Seagal, for whatever reason, walked out to the ring, to the octagon, through one of Anderson Silva's fights, where he was fighting Vitor Belfort. Another fantastic fighter, 185, 205, just absolutely outstanding. Anyways, so he went to go fight Anderson Silva, and everyone thought that if anybody can combat Anderson Silva's accuracy and head movement, it would be Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort is known for his hand speed and his brute force and his strength and his overall experience. I mean, he's been fighting. He got the heavyweight, I believe he won the heavyweight championship in the UFC when he was 19 years old, and when he first got it. And he, you know, and I believe he won the light heavyweight championship at one point as well. Or no, maybe it was the light heavyweight championship. Anyways, he won the championship. I believe it was heavyweight at 19, and then he beat Randy Couture for the light heavyweight. Whatever, it was light heavyweight he won at some point, and I believe heavyweight, but it could have just been light heavyweight. It's a long time ago. Anyways, Steven Seagal walked out to the octagon with Anderson Silva. So during the fight, Anderson Silva does a kick called the teep. Basically is a front push kick, where you take your leg, you push it in front of you, you extend at the hip and straighten your leg out, and you proceed to take your heel directly into someone's face. Well, your toes, you point. But typically you get more effective striking with your heel, as it doesn't have the same kind of give as the front of your foot does. Anyways, so Anderson Silva does this teep to the face of Belfort. It hits him perfectly, and it renders him to the ground. Anderson Silva finished with strikes, or I believe they called it as soon as he dropped, but he won the fight. Anderson Silva doesn't speak English very well. He's native Brazilian. So afterwards, people were like, what is Steven Seagal doing walking out with Anderson Silva? And they asked Steven Seagal, what are you doing? He goes, oh, he's been training Anderson Silva. And he explained that he taught Anderson Silva that kick. Now, obviously, anybody that knows anything knew right away it was bullshit to think that this world-class middleweight champion in the UFC, who has fought in Pride during its heyday, who has fought in the UFC in its heyday, who was a dominant champion for a number of years, did not understand how to do a front push kick, a teep, if you will, is laughable. And because Anderson Silva is a sweetheart, he wouldn't correct anybody. If Steven Seagal said that, he probably wouldn't say anything. Sorry, guys. I just got into the dead zone there for a minute. So buffering you're seeing is on my side, not your side. So if the stream buffers, that's on my end, not your end, okay? It's not you, it's me. So stick around, it'll eventually reconnect. But anyway, so then lots of footwork, moves in and out, very wide stance. It's more Sorry guys, it keeps cutting out like that. The very next fight that was coming up was Lyoto Machida, and sure enough, Steven Seagal walked out with him. And Lyoto Machida traditionally is a karate style fighter, which means a very wide stance, has the ability, lots of footwork, the ability to move in and out, and primarily it's counter striking. It's not a very offensive fighting style. Defensive, it's more reactive. So as people throw strikes, he would time his counter strike. So if someone throws an overhand right, sorry guys, that should be the last. Okay, whole section up here, but that should be the end of it. So hopefully if it reconnects, you stick around. But we're talking about Lyoto Machida, and we're talking about his fighting style, and we're talking about how Steven Seagal walked out to the octagon with him again. Now, at this point, Lyoto Machida was fighting Randy Couture. Randy Captain America Couture, a fantastic heavyweight, light heavyweight, veteran of the sport, fought well into his 40s. Lights up here. Hold on, guys. Let me see what's going on up here. I hope the road's not blocked. All right, some of this went around them, so probably not. Somebody got pulled over here, guys. Let me get past them. The lights are so bright. There we go. We are now passing the cops. All right, anyway, so Lyoto Machida's fighting Randy Couture. Steven Seagal walks out with Randy Couture. They go to fight, and just like in the Anderson Silva fight, Lyoto Machida steps up with a teep, a front push kick to the face of Randy Couture, drops him, finishes the fight, fight's over, he wins. So now we have two fights in a row with two Brazilian fighters that Steven Seagal walked out with, and Steven Seagal claimed that he trained both of them on how to do this kick, which is again a ridiculous premise, but because of what happened, it lends itself to the legitimacy of this statement. So now people are starting to believe it. It's later on debunked, but the point is, during this time, people were talking about Steven Seagal, and he's being interviewed by all these MMA organizations and online sites, Bloody Elbow, UFC. They were actually asking questions, treating him like he's some sort of authority, which is laughable. But the point is, people bought into it. So Steven Seagal himself has quite a bit of has developed quite a bit of a reputation as far as a lot of these things are concerned. There's a show he had, and I watched a couple episodes, and it was absolute gold, called Steven Seagal Lawman, I believe is what it was called. I could be wrong on that. I believe it was on A&E. But basically, Steven Seagal was made like an honorary police officer in like New Orleans or something. Somewhere in Louisiana, I believe. And he's a legitimate sheriff, or not an elected sheriff. He's some sort of, I don't know what his rank is. He's not like a regular officer. He has some sort of rank. And the show follows him around with these other officers. Whoa. Do you hear that? Hold on, I'm listening to my car. I think it's my brakes. I need to get new brakes, man. Anyways, so on this show, Steven Seagal is going around with these other officers who they make look like bumbling idiots, who like hang on every word of Steven Seagal. They make them look like they're inept and that Steven Seagal is like this expert. And I understand they do that on purpose, but there's great clips online. JonTron did a video on Steven Seagal that I encourage you to check out. One, because JonTron is awesome, and two, because it's just fascinating the mythology behind him, how he's kind of turned himself into almost like this mythological figure of sorts. Anyway, so there's all these different things. So Steven Seagal Lawman, then there's these scenes they do where there's a camera on the dashboard looking at Steven Seagal, and he's kind of looking around, and the camera will zoom into his eyes, and he'll look real quick like his eagle vision is engaged, and the camera angle will change as it's like overlooking the landscape, and you'll see weapon stuffed in the front of his pants, and they'll pull over, they'll grab the guy, and the motherfucker's got a shotgun shoved down the crotch of his pants, and they get him off the streets, and Steven Seagal all of a sudden has like this Louisiana Bayou accent, like, hey man, you can't be carrying off no sawed-off shotgun. You gotta be doing yourself. You gotta get yourself some gator boots and go on down to the bayou and get yourself a hunk of fried chicken and go chew up and don't wish up a come on them gators. Gators. I don't know. I'm just making up some nonsense. But he's so fake. He did an interview with a guy named Michael Schiavello, also known as The Voice, on Access TV. They used to have a lot of MMA shows on there. That's the only reason why I was aware of it to begin with. And he would interview different actors and MMA stars and in different organizations other than UFC. And it was a good way to see other fighters, other organizations that really deserve some attention that weren't really getting it. And he had Steven Seagal on there once. Hold on. What's up, Documus? That's right. No way is right. No way is right. But anyways, he was on there and he's asking all these questions about, who's a real tough guy? In Hollywood, who's a real tough guy? Is Michael Jai White a real tough guy? And Steven Seagal goes, can I laugh in your face? He goes, all right, well, he's a martial artist. He goes, he's not a martial artist. He's not a tough guy. He's none of these things. It's huge. China, blah, blah, blah. Really, Documus? That's fantastic, dude. Congratulations. What are you doing? So he asked Steven Seagal this question. Then he goes, what about Jean-Claude Van Damme? He goes, can I laugh in your face? Jean-Claude Van Damme, tiny hands. Okay. This guy doesn't know anything. He's not tough. Not a real martial artist. Okay? Like, let me tell you, I've been hearing things. I'm a hall boy. That's awesome, man. I'm not sure what a hall boy is. I'm guessing a boy that is in a hallway, perhaps at a school. That's my Steven Seagal impression. It turned into a Trump impression as I was doing it. That wasn't my intention. My name's Steven Seagal. He's not tough. Huge. Big hands. Steven Seagal. Okay? And, do you know what kind of show or movie it's for? Did they fill you in on those types of details? Either way, man, that's super cool, dude. I'm happy for you, brother. I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. You should do like a series on your channel of like Gilded Age. That's awesome, dude. You should do some sort of series about like how you're preparing for the role and, you know, whatever you're allowed to film, some kind of behind the scenes or something. That's cool, Documus. Congrats, man. Congratulations, dude. Just by affiliation alone, you may get some attention from that, man. I mean, on top of trying to make a career out of it, as far as trying to grow your channel, I mean, that may be a good way to parlay some free subscribers out of that, you know? Something to think about, man. Something to think about. Make a few bucks maybe, but I think if anything, it gives yourself some attention. There's a lot of people. Yeah, hell yeah, man, get a little bit of clout. Take what you can get, dude. Take what you can get. Shit, man, people were talking about getting COVID and making videos trying to get attention, and, you know, people dying from cancer. Clickbaiting, nonsense. At least this will be legit, you know. You don't have to be the star of the show for it to be interesting. You know, have the video, your first video be, just like you said, I get to act in an HBO movie, or my first acting role on HBO, or whatever, and you just tell the story. I did this, this, and this, and then I got this opportunity, and I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. You know, and then slowly compile your footage, whatever you're allowed to film. And if you have to wait until after the show airs, then hold on to it and kind of build a series out of it, or do it as it's being made. Whatever you're allowed to do. Don't shoot yourself in the foot for your YouTube channel, but if you're allowed to, man, I would consider it. I think that's a fantastic idea. But anyways, guys, I have reached my destination. I did a lot of talking about Steven Seagal, I think the entire stream. I'm now at Big Girl's place of residence, soon to be my place of residence at some time in the future. Yeah, I would imagine you have to wait, but that's still cool, man. I think it's worth it. I think it's a good idea. Steve is now cool. I guess so. Anyways, guys, I appreciate Documus. Thanks for swinging by, man. It was good seeing you again, brother. I hope to see you again soon. Keep me posted, dude. I'd love to hear about your experience, man. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I don't think that there's a lot of people that have a lot of good things happen to them that don't deserve it, but I truly believe you deserve it. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Thanks for swinging on by. For anybody else that watches this, either now or in the future, thank you so much. But I'm out for now. I'm on 9,000 Bucket